Hello, this is Stephanie Ellis, your Executive Director of Behavioral Health Crisis Intervention and Student Safety in Rockingham County Schools. I hope you're doing well today, and thank you for viewing this video on our Safe Return to Learn for the 2020-2021 school year. We're excited for our students to come back on September 21st, and we thought that this would provide an update and just clarification on some of the safety protocols that will be in place when students return for in-person learning on September 21st. In Rockingham County Schools and throughout the state of North Carolina, school districts are following these four guidance documents. These are COVID-19 resources and guidance documents that are provided through the Department of Health and Human Services and also the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. The first document that you see on your left is the Strong Schools North Carolina Public Health Toolkit. Also, there is a Strong Schools North Carolina Infection Control and PPE Guidance document. In addition, there is a reference guide for suspected, presumptive, or confirmed cases, and then also a Lighting Our Way Forward, our guidebook for reopening public schools from our North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. The first three documents that you see are from the Department of Health and Human Services, and the first one details a great deal of information around just safety protocols and procedures that we need to follow and considerations for reopening schools. The second document details infection control and PPE guidance and gave school districts direction on some information around which PPE to purchase for our schools. The third document really details and is really going to be used most often every day in the school setting around what we should do if a possible exposure, diagnosis, or symptoms develop of COVID-19. The fourth document that I mentioned is really just the information from our North Carolina Department of Public Instruction on things that we should consider as we reopen schools. When you view our website at www.rock.k12.nc.us, you will see a Back to School, Our Safe Return to Learn button. And this is our Safe Return to Learn guidebook that we developed. As you all know, we had a reentry team that was organized of district representation across the district from every school. We had teachers, we had staff, we had principals, administration, central office, also community representation, student advisory meetings. All of that occurred all throughout the summer for us to get input into our Safe Return to Learn. This guidebook is available for review at any time on that document, on that website. And this document is updated as new information is received from DHHS on a regular basis. Our most recent update was September 4th. Also, as you see, this is a new document that we've placed on our website, and this is a master FAQ document for COVID-19. When you go to our website, you will see this button to your right, and that's the button you will click to be able to get to this master FAQ document. And this document, I'm just going to show this to you all right now so that you can see it. We won't go through everything on it. But the way the document is set up is it's highlighted in different colors. The first section is return to school. You'll see a section on masks and face coverings, safety protocols, health screening, and PPE. You'll see cleaning, disinfecting, sanitizing, positive cases. It goes on and on into buses, into remote learning, virtual learning, teaching and learning, and on Plan B. All of that is listed there for your viewing. And it has all of the frequently asked questions that are asked on a regular basis, along with the answers that are there. And hopefully that'll be a helpful document, and that will be posted on our website for view at any time. Let's review some of the safety protocols for our Safe Return to Learn. The main safety protocol that we have for COVID-19 truly is prevention. Prevention is key when we think about COVID-19. We understand that it is a respiratory illness and that it sends respiratory droplets in the air. So we have many things that we have in place that has been guidance and direction and requirements given to us from the Department of Health and Human Services that help us to engage in prevention activities. This is one of our Rockingham County Schools CARES signs, and as you'll see, we care greatly about the safety of our staff and students, and these are the main areas of prevention that we want to talk about today. One is washing our hands or using hand sanitizer, wearing face coverings or masks, and then frequent cleaning, social distancing of at least 6 feet, and then also wellness checks. In addition to all of this, Rockingham County Schools has engaged in ensuring that we have appropriate PPE guidance and directions that have been provided to each of the schools. All PPE has been delivered to the schools, and the principals and custodians and the crisis teams are in charge of delivering this PPE to their staff. As you will see, we're going to start first with the signage for facilities. This is a yard sign that you will see as you come up to our schools that indicate our safety protocols. There will also be a North Carolina DHHS sign on the front door, and it will look like this on your left, and it will detail questions and screening information before coming into the school. Also, there will be on the front doors a sign that looks like this. It says, wear a cloth mask over your nose and mouth. That is a requirement upon the executive order of the governor, but also from DHHS. And so you will see these posted everywhere as you come into our buildings and also in other areas and locations of our school. In addition, you will see a lobby sign that has wear, wait, and wash, and also that information in Spanish. And this lobby sign is placed at the front of every school as you walk into the school as a reminder of the knowing your W's, the 3 W's, wear, wait, and wash. In addition, there are large RCS CARES signs that remind that are throughout the school, and there are at least 4 of these in each school as a great reminder, and they're pretty large posters just to help serve as reminders. In addition, each school has wash your hands posters that will be in restrooms and throughout the buildings. In addition, there are social distancing markers. This is the general one for Rockingham County Schools, but each school has their own with their own logo on it. But it's a reminder of 6 feet distancing, social distancing or physical distancing throughout the building. And these are placed, in front offices and guidance offices and hallways, media centers, cafeterias, and various areas where social distancing is required. In addition, on our buses, we have these little logos here that say, please sit here, RCS Cares. And this is an example of how we want these to be placed throughout the bus. And you will see these later as we go through a design, but they will be placed so that students know where to sit within the bus. And as you know, there's 1 student per bus. Now, for PPE materials, each staff member received these 3 face coverings, and this is their PPE equipment or for face coverings, and each staff has been provided these face coverings to wear. And they are washable. In addition, our students have received 5 face coverings that look like this. Through our student advisory, our students did advise us that they wanted plain face coverings. So each student is receiving 5 of these, and you will be getting more information from your school about when to get these for your child, but each student receives 5 of those. In addition, I know there's been a lot of questions around face shields. We'll talk more in depth in just a little bit about face covering and face shields. These are only permitted for use for K-3 foundation lessons only. These are brief 5-minute lessons. They can be used in the event of medical exemptions, and we'll talk more about that when we get to that slide in our presentation. In addition, we will have disposable face coverings for buses and schools in the event someone forgets their face covering. However, that will just be as a reminder and will be given one time. These face coverings are required, either some form of a face covering at all times for anyone that enters our building. In addition to we did not necessarily have to provide these as extra, but we thought maybe that staff would like to have additional hand gloves for possible cleaning purposes. So these have been provided to where individuals can place these on their hands for cleaning if they would choose to do so. In addition, there have been cleaning solution spray bottles that have been delivered to the schools, and custodians will mix the lavender neutral pH solution that is on the EPA list N approved list, and they will hand these out to staff to engage in cleaning of desks and other materials within the classroom. Also, I will say when cleaning these, there is a 1 minute kill time for sanitizing and 10 minute for disinfecting. So if you want to clean in between classes or desks, you can easily sanitize and leave it sitting there for 1 minute. And at the end of the day, you want to just spray it really good and wipe it down at the end of the day. And of course, it would be left there for 10 minutes or more until the next day, and that would be considered disinfecting. Also, placed around our buildings, each teacher is receiving individual hand sanitizers for their classroom and each staff member. However, also, as you will see, these hand sanitizer stations are set up throughout the building as well. Additional facial tissues have been ordered for the bus and the classrooms as well, just in case these are needed also. In addition, for our isolation room, in case there is a need for a student who's developed an exposure or possible considered diagnosis or symptoms, this information and this PPE material will be available in those isolation rooms. There will be disposable face coverings, face shields. The face shield and the disposable face covering are required to be worn, within the isolation room. And then also there will be medical gloves and also no-touch thermometers, hand sanitizer station gowns, and additional cleaning materials. And each custodian and bus driver will receive these disinfectant wipes. This is used with the same lavender solution that was discussed above. It's just in a wipe format, and will be given to custodians and bus drivers for cleaning purposes as well. And that is our PPE directions and guidance material for RCS. Now let's talk about one of our main prevention areas for face coverings. We understand this was provided to us from the Department of Health and Human Services, and we know that face coverings that are worn over the nose and the mouth are the best, most research-based, evidence-based prevention protocol that we can implement. We are required to do so, and everyone must wear a face covering unless there is a medical exemption. It does provide the lowest amount of risk and is really our best safety protocol. After discussing with our local health department, reviewing our department, Health and Human Services guidance documents that have been provided to us, we are required to wear those face coverings at all times, even when social distancing is possible. And so I did say that, yes, even when social distancing is possible, we still must wear those face coverings. And that is an executive order through our governor, but also a requirement through DHHS. In addition to those screenings, we also will have health screenings. So the first type of safety or prevention protocol is an attestation form. Parents will be hearing about more of information about these attestation forms, so please contact your school if you have any questions about these attestation forms. But essentially, every parent for each child that you have will be asked to submit an RCS school attestation form. These will be provided to you from the school district, and essentially just asks you to fill out some demographic information, and it asks for you to answer 3 essential questions about whether your child has been in close contact within 6 feet for at least 15 minutes in the last 14 days with someone diagnosed with COVID-19, or has any health department or healthcare provider been in contact with you and advised you to quarantine. Does your child have any of the following symptoms? Fever, chills, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, new cough, new loss of taste or smell? Since you were last at school, has your child been diagnosed with COVID-19? And if the answer to any of these are yes, or if your child has been around someone that has been diagnosed with COVID-19, if any of these are yes, we are asking you to notify the school and please keep your child at home. And so at the bottom, you'll see if any of these symptoms listed above develop at school, I understand my child will be picked up immediately from school. And I also attest that the following information is true to the best of my knowledge, and I will report any change immediately to my child's school. Those attestation forms will be available on our website, and also please contact your school as well. In addition, when we think about screening or health screening for COVID-19, if the child has had exposure to anyone with COVID-19, they cannot come to school. If they have had a diagnosis, and even if they do not have symptoms, the student cannot come to school. This also applies for employees as well. If there is at least one symptom of COVID-19, the child or the employee cannot come to school. And if there are no flags, then the staff and the employee will be able to proceed to school. Our staff members have a health screening app that they complete every single day prior to entering our building that asks them those essential questions. And that app actually asks the same questions as you saw on that attestation form, the same 3 questions that I read just a few minutes ago. Any student or staff member experiencing these symptoms should stay at home and follow up with their medical care provider. Once our students arrive to school from the bus and or from the car ride or any other way that they come to school, there will be a health screening flow that will occur at the school. The students will be required on the bus to wear face coverings and sit one per seat, as I showed you earlier in that picture. And once all students arrive at school, the children will be screened for COVID-19 and the temperature will be taken. Those screening questions that I showed you earlier will be asked in addition to that temperature being taken at the school. If there are no flags, you can see that the student goes to class and proceeds forward with their typical school day. If the child becomes symptomatic, they would go then, a phone call would be made to our COVID-19 contact and or school nurse, and they would meet them at their school, at their classroom, and determine if they need to visit our COVID-19 isolation room. And then evaluation will occur at that isolation room, and the child will be sent home. If during the arrival at school, the exposure, the diagnosis, or symptoms are confirmed at that point, the child will then visit the isolation room and the parent will be contacted and the child will be sent home to follow up with their medical care provider. I mentioned this particular guidance document earlier to you all, and this document is very important. What you will see is an important chart that is explained here, and it details if upon arrival an exposure diagnosis or symptoms happens, what page the school is to follow, and it lists step by step the protocol and the directions that the employer will follow to support that student. In addition, if it happens during the school day in the green area, you see which page we are to go to. So as an example, if we want to look just at page 4, you can see that it details exclusion, infection control, transportation, notification, closure, cleaning, and communication. It details every step that we have based on that particular example. And each page it has the exact protocols, and how we determine which page to follow, we look at this chart right here. So you have this in the link in this presentation, and this presentation, it will be posted on our website in addition to this video so that you can look at that at any time. I mentioned to you about the bus. As you can see, these are the little markers that will be provided on each bus, and you can see they are alternating on left and right. These are the requirements from our State Department and DHHS for students who are riding the bus. They will load the bus and start from the back all the way to the front, and then unload the bus from front all the way to the back, so as to hopefully keep from as much contact. You may see that our windows will be opened even though we do have air conditioning on most of our buses. We will do that for extra ventilation purposes and for to recycle air. In addition, I wanted to share with you our handling suspected or confirmed of COVID-19 cases. You've heard me mention an isolation room, and this is specifically for students that or that may be experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. The reference guide that I showed you showed the exact chart that we will use, in addition to the exact steps that we will follow. And additional PPE equipment that I went over earlier is provided for each school to use in this isolation room. There is an isolation app that we use that our COVID-19 contacts, administrators, and school nurses have access to. It is a confidential app that only those individuals have access to in order for us to track exactly what we did with each student who has visited our isolation room. And so that will just indicate exactly what page we followed on that reference guide and what steps that we took. And if you want to see those steps, you can visit that reference guide as well. That reference guide details for each consideration, whether it be upon arrival or during the school day, what we will do in the isolation room, the infection control, transportation, notification, closure, cleaning, and communication. And this is that chart that I shared with you, along with the link again, that tells you exactly what page, depending on whether it's an exposure, diagnosis, or symptoms that occur upon arrival or during the school day. In addition, we have developed, this is in our Safe Return Guidebook, the long guidebook that has all of our safety protocols. This is a shorter document so that you can see this in a little bit more of a condensed version. This is our prevention and response procedures, and it details our face coverings process and provides even more details about that. And it discusses our medical exemptions if you would like to read that further. Our FAQ also provides lots of information on that as well. It talks about social distancing guidelines, health screening information, and then also our attestation forms. And then it also details what would happen if we had a confirmed case and any notifications. It also details our school closure guidelines. There are 3 areas that may require us to close school in the event of COVID-19 impact. The first area would be a COVID-19 staff impact. If we had so many staff that were impacted that could not be available for in-person learning, that may require a school closure in consultation with our local health department. The second area is a lab-confirmed COVID-19 cluster closure procedure. If we have 5 laboratory-confirmed cases that are linked or show plausible linkage, and of course this would be in conversation with our local health department, that may also require a closure. The third area is a safety precaution school closure. This would be completed through collaboration with our health department and through contact tracing, and it may be that it develops a safety concern or impact to schools or a zone of schools, and we would need to close in that event. So those are our 3 school closure guidelines for RCS. And these have been developed, all of these procedures, all of these health protocols have been developed in collaboration with all of those guidance documents that I shared with you, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and in collaboration frequently with our local health department as well. Now, cleaning practices for COVID-19. Hand sanitizer has been placed throughout the building, and each classroom will have their own hand sanitizer to use as many times as they want, and this will be supplied throughout the year. All the custodian and the principal has to do is request additional material as they need it for hand sanitizer. Of course, if students, if this dries hands out too much, they can always use the bathroom and wash their hands there in the restroom. For sanitation processes, we recommend all of these areas be hit on at least one time a day. And the cafeteria has really specific rules that are used, and it's required after each person uses that area. And then we will be checking for refill of materials every single day. Touch points include light switches, door handles, desks, doors, water faucets, entire bathrooms, chairs, stair handrails, elevators, elevator buttons, keyboards, electronics, and any other surface with a high frequency human contact. In addition, our bus touch points include handrails, bus seats, and any high frequency human contact area. And it will be cleaned, the touch points will be cleaned at the end of each bus route and in between bus routes, and bus seats as well. All of this will occur all throughout the day. In addition, in classrooms, we recommend computers, electronics, telephones, desks, switches, door handles, pencil sharpener chairs, any metal surfaces that would be needed to be cleaned are considered touch point areas and will be cleaned over throughout the day. Also, another preventative area are social distancing in classrooms. We are required through the DHHS recommendations and through our DPI recommendations to place markings down throughout the school that help remind students and staff to remain a distance of 6 feet for health and to practice social distancing. In addition, Plan B asks for us to limit our school classrooms by 50% in order to allow this social distancing to occur. You may find that some of our schools have one-way traffic areas, or they may have specific areas where students have to go to the right side of the hallway or the left side of the hallway just to help kind of maintain that distancing. You'll see markers. Here's an example for Reedsville Middle School. All throughout, and each of our schools have these types of markers that you will see throughout the buildings. In addition, this is an example of an elementary classroom, and you can see the desks are 6 feet apart, socially distanced within the classroom. Here's another example of an elementary classroom with social distancing in place within the classroom. And then also you will see um, social distancing here at the middle school. This is a middle school example with desks in place. And then also a high school example with desks in place for social distancing. And you can see specifically one person per table in that particular example. And then here is also another high school example for desks within the classroom. I also want to say we definitely have a great deal of information around playground and enrichment areas available on the FAQ document. Please visit that for more details around those enrichment areas. And also, please feel free to contact us at any point in time. I just want to thank you for your time today. This information has been and will continue to be on our website, and this is truly a team effort from our district, our staff, our teachers, our parents, and our community, and our students. And we thank you so much for your time and your support of Rockingham County Schools as we work extremely hard to maintain the safety of our students and our staff each and every day. So please visit our website for the presentation and for this video and other documents that may be helpful for you. You can look for this button right here, and it will house all of that information. And thank you for participating in this video. And just remember, Rockingham County Schools cares about your safety. Thank you so much for your time.